And we're back. Hey guys, I've talked about this stock many times. I've had it off and on for the last couple years. I was actually pretty heavily invested in it for my standards anyway. At one point, I think I had $5,000 in it, or something close to it, and had sold right before it went to $4 or $5. But anyway, I've recommended this stock for a while, and the last time I rebought some, I only have 300 shares right now, but I want to say my average buy price is, I want to say 190 maybe even less than that. It's below 2 anyways. It's I think it's right at 190. But I don't have very much in my E-Trade account, my taxable account. I just have a couple thousand in it now. Mainly it's just SJT, which I'm down 50%, but I'm really not down 50% because when I started buying SJT, it was around $7, and it basically doubled. It went from 7 to 15, and then that's when I sold and got out, and then I started rebuying. I think around 10, and SJT is under 5, I believe, now. So of course I'm still very bullish on SJT, which is gas. So it's not oil, it's gas. But quietly over the last week or so, even the last month, you can just see it kind of hit a bottom here, 173, and it's just slowly been climbing. I think earlier this week it hit over $2. Here Monday, well actually Friday it was over $2. So so yeah, I mean, this thing is just on a steady climb. This and like I said, I think the based on what I have read and look at this. The price to book is 30.35. That means you're getting a 65% discount on the book value. The book value is $6.43, and it's still $2. I mean, the bad news is this thing doesn't pay a dividend, and you might have to hold it a couple years. But I would sell it. Either you just try to get the book value out of it and sell it at $6 or $5.50 or something close to $6. Or you think I think it's actually higher. I think it's more like 10 or 15, which would be the true value, in my opinion. Just because all they continue to do is buy more and more assets, more and more undervalued assets. Excuse me. They're buying. Whether it's railroads, whether it's more production capacity to haul more sand and a lot of people believe that this sand, which is used in fracking specifically, is a almost like a precious mineral or precious metal. I mean, it's not a metal, but it's very rare. It's only found in like one or two parts of the world. And I believe the reason it's been down so hard is, with this administration, they are pro wind, they're pro solar, they're pro, but they're anti coal, they're anti gas, they're anti oil, they're anti fracking, but we're not always going to have this administration. There's going to be Republicans and there's going to be Democrats. And I think Buffett said one time, I think he said we had 22 presidents, 11 were Democrats and 11 were Republicans. Something like that. I don't know where we're at now, but pretty much has been 50-50, but at some point we're going to have somebody that is going to be pro energy again, pro oil, pro gas, and we're going to need these frackers. We're going to need this sand. So who knows? I mean, this could be it could easily be a 10 bagger and go to 20 at some point in the future, in the next 5, 10, 15 years. I don't know how long you had to wait, but I personally would hold it at least till 6, but I really do like this company. I think they're growing. I think they're growing the right way by buying undervalued assets. They're buying up railroads and rail cars and increasing their production, and they're not even at their full production capacity. So when they reach that, I mean, this is going to be, I believe, multiples higher. But if a lot of people like to buy stuff when it's going up. I mean, personally, I like to buy stuff when it's going down. But I think anything around 2 is a good deal. I mean, if I think it's worth 15 is guaranteed at least worth 6. You're going to triple your money at some point in the future. But having no dividend means you might have to wait 2 years without getting anything in return. Which kind of sucks, but I mean, you're paying $2 a share. You're getting 30 cents a year earnings. You got a PE under 10. I mean, if the PE is 10, I mean, you're getting a 10% return. I mean, I obviously think your return is going to be a lot higher than that, because I think it's worth at the low end 6, and at the high end probably 15 or 20, and the medium maybe 10. But yeah, I still think this is a good time to buy. It seems like there's a lot of positive momentum, and just keeps going higher and higher. Let's peek over at SJT real quick, and it's funny, it doesn't show 15, but I could have swore this thing went to 15 at some point. because I started buying in the sevens, I think, and it went close to 15. But this is only showing me close to 13. But I swore I sold most of it right around close to $15. So I'm a little confused by that. But anyway, you can see the real dump. I mean, not even a year ago it was $10, and now here we're at $5. But you can see the potential of this thing. I mean, good Lord, what if this thing goes to 50 again? I mean, that's a 10 bagger from here, from 5 to 50. Definitely possible. Is it likely? Probably not, but I do think we'll see at least 10 again, maybe 15. At some point in the future. And when you're getting you're paying $5, you're getting 75 cents a year. That's not a bad return. I think this month's dividend is 3 cents or something kind of crappy. But yeah, you see record date tomorrow, so be on. I think if you buy it tomorrow, you'll still be able to get this 3 cent dividend. Like in my taxable account, I have, I want to say 300 shares, so times 3 pennies. Shit. So that's $9. I mean, it's not crazy good. It's not $9 times 12. It's $100 a year in dividends. This is saying the yield's 3%. But yeah, look, I mean, it's been like a penny in December, a penny in January, a penny in November, 4 pennies in October, 5 pennies, 2 pennies, 1 penny, 1 penny, 5 pennies. But go back a little bit. I mean, we got 10 cent here. Look at this huge. This is not a typo, guys. 40 cent, 10 cent, 24 cent. Now, granted, this is last year. This is when it was up. I mean, look. I mean, January they paid 11 cent. February 24 cent. March 40 cent. April 10 cent. I mean, that's 20, 60, 70, 80. That's 84 cents right there just on those first four months. And then go back a little further, 24 cent, 11 cent, 9 cent, 17 cent, 34 cent, 12, 18, 14, 11, 9, 8, 11, 8, 10, 11, 14. I mean, down here, we're down to the pennies again, the 1 penny, 2 pennies, but, I mean, here, look at this, 40 cents. So let me see, my little 300 shares times 40 cents, 120 bucks for that 1 month. And you know, even though I'm only getting 3 pennies right now, that's $9. I'm reinvesting these dividends. So when I started out with 300 shares, now I'm up to, I don't know, 308, 309. You know, so every month that goes by, I'm buying more and more shares at a very cheap price, might I add, because I think we're at a bottom here. So this month, for example, or next month on 3/14, when we get that dividend, I'll be able to buy basically almost two more shares. So I mean, it's not much, and it's only adding those 2 more shares, or not even 2 shares, would add, you know, 6 cents to my next month's dividend. But you know, you're just slowly accumulating shares, and this thing is not going bust anytime soon. I mean, this is going to go on for 10, 15, 20 years into the future before they run out of gas. And you can just see the revenue and the earnings in 2022. They were just off the charts. But they have 119,000 net producing acres in San Juan, Rio, Arriba, Sandoval counties of northwestern New Mexico, as well as 825.6 net wells. So when you buy this, you're basically buying ownership in these 800 wells that produce natural gas. And it's kind of funny, BBVA, this was one of the companies in Argentina, one of the banks in Argentina I had recommended several years ago. Actually, the same time that I had bought DAC, I had 2 stocks. And back then, DAC was $3.50, way down here when I had bought it. Somewhere right around there, probably. Bought it right at the bottom. But I had 50% in this, and then I had I had 50% in this one. And when I bought this one, I want to say it was $2.50 or $3.50, somewhere somewhere between 250 and 350. So, I mean, even with this one, I still would have doubled my money because I only had two stocks. I had DAC and I had this, and this one is basically a subsidy of BBVA, as you can see right here, BBVA, Argentina, and you still would have got a 5% dividend too while you waited. So, you know, if I bought it in April, you know, it was right around 250, somewhere around there. So, you know, 250 to 5 doubles your money. We're at 6 now. So, you know, DAC would have been the one that I would have turned $5,000 into 200,000 if I sold at $100, sold at the peak. Would have been a 30 bagger, but of course my dumbass sold too early. But yeah, I was not wrong on B-Bar either. I'm sure there's a different name for it, but I mean, this one didn't turn into a 30 bagger, but you know, you're getting a 5% dividend yield, and not only that, if you'd have bought it down here at 250, you're probably getting a 10% dividend yield. So if you're getting a 5% now at this price, you're probably getting a 10% dividend yield at down here at 250. So not only would you have more than doubled your money, but you're still getting a 10% return just on a dividend from now into whenever, you know. And who knows, that like when I bought B-Bar, I thought it could go, I don't know, $10 and maybe a chance to go to 15 or 20. But yeah, back then, you know, I was big in Argentina because, you know, Argentina had a lot of bad news, and so anyway, so this is just another one when I can say, hey, yeah, I was right again. You know, you don't know really sometimes if you're right or not until a couple years later. But and once I got out of DAC, I really haven't paid attention to it. But you know, you're still getting a little dividend here. I think the reason it went up so much is they also had ownership and part ownership. I want to say electric vehicle or something. I don't know if it was BYD or something else. I don't want to misstate it, but basically, when I bought it, I thought it was worth $2 billion. They had $1 billion in debt. They had just come out of bankruptcy, and the market cap was somewhere around I want to say it was less than $100 million. I mean, you got a $2 billion company with like 40 big old ships that are like 5 times the size of a cruise ship that are basically selling for the scrap value of the metal or the steel, which is just nuts. And not only that, but the ships were like 95% occupancy for the next like 5 years. So, you know, I never thought it could go to 100. I thought at the time, I thought DAC would be a 10 bagger from 350. I thought it could easily go to $30 in the next 5 years. but I didn't think it was going to 30x in a year, less than a year. I mean, from July 1, 2020 to March 2022, basically a 2-year period, 30x. I didn't see that coming, and I ended up selling it because the whole world is over indebted. The pandemic was going on. I had moved everything into treasuries, and that was a mistake. But I thought the market was not the place to be. I thought everything was going to crash, and then everything did the exact opposite. So, I mean, I did make money on it, but I sold at $7, $8, $9, somewhere around there. I considered getting back in, but I had at least 2,000 shares. So if you multiply 2,000 shares times $100 a share, that's 200 grand. I think I actually had more than 2,000 shares, but and a lot of it I had in my Roth IRA too, so all that would have been tax free as well. But you can't hit home runs every time, and I gotta forgive myself and move on. But just showing you that I've been right a couple times, and they don't even have the graph for Sears, but I was right on Sears. That they don't even have Sears up here anymore. But if you had bought Sears at 12 cents that one year during Christmas time, I bought it I think a little after that, but it ended up going to like $1.50, $2. It was a bankrupt company, but I was buying it based on the real estate, based on the assets. I mean, Sears was a 100-year-old company. When they bought the land, the farmland, the farmland was probably a couple $200, and now every single parking lot, every single store, is worth at least $1 million, probably $2 million. I mean, anybody that's ever paved their driveway at your house knows that even just a small little plot of driveway, it might be $5 grand, 10 grand, 15, 20 grand, 30 grand, just for that. Just imagine all those huge parking lots that they have, those huge buildings. It was definitely worth. They had hundreds of them. It was definitely worth more than. Not only that, they had all these employees that they weren't just going to get rid of. But anyway, guys, investing in these value companies, sometimes it's not sexy. It's not cool. I mean, this company's $85 million. It's not a very big company. But if you invested, I'm pretty sure, about 100%, I mean, we could ban fracking forever. We could have a Democratic administration the next 50 years. But I don't think that's going to happen because, we've had 11 Republicans, 11 Democrats, and I I think history is going to repeat itself. So you can be against. And the funny thing to me is, you got all these congressmen and stuff that are against the oil industry, and what are they buying? They're buying oil. They're buying Exxon Mobil. I mean, the dividend yield of this is low now, but I mean, if you had bought this a couple years ago when it was $30, the dividend yield at this time was somewhere around 7 or 8%, I want to say. I could be wrong, but you basically tripled your money. The P/E ratio right now is 11. That's not bad for a company that's $413 billion. Now, if you bought it at 118, you're down a little bit, but imagine buying this thing at 85 at $6. And just this year alone, they're earning you $8.89 a share. I mean, $8.89. Can you imagine buying this thing at $6.73 and 85? All the money that this thing has made you over the years, over the last 30 years. I mean, all right, this video's gone on too long. I've rambled on too much, but anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck, investors.